So from today onwards, like we are gonna do animation. We'll see fundamentals of animation, and there are a few examples of animations also we'll do. So before that, like you should know what is principle of animation. Okay, there are a few principles. Okay, normally in our real life also we do follow that. Okay, the way we walk, we talk, any movements, human movements, it does have these principles. And these principles are created based on a thorough research of human movements or animal movements. Okay. Since you guys have all seen Ice Age movie, okay, you might have seen, right? So considering that, I'll take this example to explain principles of animation. Apart from this, if you just type 12 principles of animation, there are a lot of examples out there. 12 principles, lot many examples. Okay, so you can go through all this. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me just take this. So I am disabling the audio so that I can explain this to you better. So this is first principle called staging. Okay, how do you present an idea, okay, which is so clear for an audience? Okay, this is staging. By looking at this, you'll get to know this character. Okay, let's say this particular character, this is gonna pick this particular nut. Okay, so this is first one. Second, this is anticipation. So this is preparing for an action. Okay, before any action, so we prepare for an action. For example, we are throwing, let's say the action is to throw a ball. Okay, so the ball releasing from hand, is an action. Okay, so before the action, we are holding a ball, we take a hand towards back, and we are going to throw, right? So there is an anticipation for this. Okay, so that's what is happening here, anticipation. So this is preparing for the action, and it does the action now. Okay, now if you see squash and stretch, this defines the rigidity or mass of an object by distorting its shape during an action. Okay, normally the squash and stretch and all, even in real life, with us also this happens. When you sit on a chair, okay, the action is you're in standing pose, you're gonna sit and do something on the laptop. If this is an action which you have to perform, when you sit, automatically our abdomen area, it will squash. Okay, fine. Stretch, let's say for example, when you're yawning or when you're getting it up or when you're throwing something, you do stretch. Okay, you muscle stretch. Okay, this defines the rigidity, how rigid you are. For example, an hefty guy or a lean guy, okay, when they are performing the same action, you can see the difference between these options, like what is the amount of squash and stretch is happening. Okay, so that's the example here. The character squash and stretch is happening. You can see squash and stretch. Okay, now this is an important principle, which is exaggeration. So accentuating the essence of an idea via the design and the action. In a simple words, normally you see we exaggerate things. Exaggeration means something beyond normal. Okay. See, normally, like in our friends group, obviously you'll be having a lot of friends. In our friends group or in our family group, at least, like 1 or 2% will be there. They'll be exaggerating things, right? You might have experienced this. Let's say if you go for a party or anything, a person will be talking about, like his experience about an amusement park or about a trip, which he has done. So he'll be exaggerating things. Okay, so that's exaggeration beyond normal. People does that. So majorly here, another example for this exaggeration, when you see these cartoons or Tom and Jerry or anything, they exaggerate a lot. Let's say with a hammer, this Jerry will hit Tom, so the Tom will get squashed completely and he look like a plate. So a lot of exaggeration. Okay, so in real life, that sort of exaggeration will not be there. At least in cartoons, it will be there. Okay. And for example, if you see the Incredibles movie, okay, in that there is a elastic girl. Okay, she, her hand, her body is so elastic. The character itself is so exaggerated. So that's what I'm referring to. So this character, it is exaggerating beyond its limit. This is really important, which is timing and motion, spacing and action to define the weight, first thing, and size of the objects and the personality of the characters. um, it's like timing. Let's talk about timing now. So assume from RSTP school um, uh, to the signal. When you come out of a school and take a left and go straight, there's a signal. Okay. So if you walk from signal to school, how much time it takes? The same thing if you run from signal to school, how much time it takes? Okay. So there is a difference of time and motion as well. Okay. One is you're walking. The second action is you're running. You can add third action, you're going by car. Okay. Less than a minute. Right. It depends. Spacing of action to define the weight. Okay. So you'll get to know more. In simple words, 1 second of animation or a video is having 24 frames, right? 24 frames of animation leads to 1 second of the final output. So if we create a character, let's say this is a character here, we have a character on the left hand side, and this is, let's say, a gate. Okay. So the character has to cross to hurdle over here and open the gate. So if you walk, okay, means let's say per second, normally if you walk from here to here, it might take 2 minutes. If you increase, if you make the animation to run, obviously within 30 seconds, he can reach the position. So in that case, what happens? For 30 seconds of animation, we have to have lesser frame rate, lesser frame. For 2 minutes, you should have more frame. How do you define less frame or more frame? That's over here. In Maya, you have lesser frame. Let's say in 120 frame, I want a character from so what I was saying is in 120 frame, I want the character from here, here, 0, he's here, 120, he'll be here. Okay, simple. I'll show this. I'll show. Okay, let me duplicate two characters. Let's say we have two things. Okay, so both of them, I'll start here. S for set key. Okay, for your information, when I select the character or object, and if I press S for set key, so you can see an orange line here. That means we have started keying things. So the transformation value or rotation, all the values will be keyed here. So one of my character will go to this particular place within 90 frame, and my other character will come over here within 120 frame. Okay, so the distance is same. Start part, end part, for both the characters it is same, but based on the frame rate, this guy comes faster, this guy comes slow. He's running, he's walking. That's the example. Okay. So that's what I showed here. Timing and motion. This is second reaction. If you notice the action of an object resulting from another action, see that second reaction, see this bubbles, all these things, okay? Bubbles and all. This is a follow through. When you see the tail movement from here, okay, let's say, see the tail movement is straight, all these things and all, this is second reaction, whereas because of falling of this character, the bubble, that's a second reaction, okay? Follow through and overlapping. Follow through, the termination of this action and establish the relationship to the next action, that is tail. When this character is getting settled here, the tail is getting animated here. Means if you just notice, see, the tail is getting relaxed. That's the follow through and overlapping. Simple example, you guys are wearing a coat and you are running, okay? In that case, just observe the movement of the coat or cloth, okay? So that's the follow through animation. Oh, and one more thing, you're holding a bat or you're holding a hockey stick, okay, and you're running. The hockey stick also is getting animated. That is the previous one, which is second reaction, okay? This is amazing. Arc, okay? When you notice this character, the character movement, everything, it's an arc, okay? The visual path of an action for natural movement. See, normally, when I, let's say I'll open principles of animation or animator survival kit. See now here, the movement what we do, it forms an arc. See the head part. Normally when we walk, this is head is forming an arc. Hand part, just notice the hand part, okay? It's like this. It is forming an arc. This is another example. Everything, every movement of a character forms an arc, okay? Every movement. So there is an arc. Means it's a curvy shape, okay? There is no linear elements here, okay? And this is one of the famous book for animators, animator survival kit, okay? This is really important. I'll be sharing this animator survival kit with you all. This is for your reference whenever you get free time. Anyhow, don't worry, this is not going to come for your exam. This is for animators, this is like a Bible for animators, okay? So this is arc, the visual path of an action for the movement, okay? Okay, so this is, there are two things, two type of animation is there. One is straight ahead animation and pose to pose animation. Let's say this character is gonna hit few of the characters here, for means fish and all. In a simple way, I'll tell you, in Maya, see the animation of these two is from this position, they have to go to this position, okay? In middle, let's say in middle, these people, they have to jump. So in middle, they have to jump on this particular barrier. So what I'll do, let me consider this character. Okay. So I'm gonna give a set key here. I'll come over here. So I'm gonna increase this height. and I'll come here. After that, I need a sudden leap here. So what is happening? The character is jumping, right? He jumps on this barrier and he goes. Okay, let me do for this particular character. So this guy is coming. So here, up to here, I want the same animation. Press S for the animation here. I'll come over here. I'm gonna lift this guy a little bit up, S, and here to here down. Okay. So if you see, initially I did straight head or pose to pose. Let's say straight ahead animation. There are two types of animation I said, right? One is straight ahead animation, another is pose to pose animation. Straight ahead and pose to pose, right? Straight ahead means from start point to the end point. Let's say here, let's say we'll talk about this character now. This character I animate here, then I do animation here, then I do the next animation here, then I do here, then here, like this, manually one after the other in a sequential manner. I do the animation. That is straight ahead. Pose to pose is now what I have done. I set the initial start position, I set the end position. Now later in between, whenever I want, I'm adding pose. This is pose to pose animation. See, this depends upon animators, and it depends upon the type of animation which we are doing. If we are doing a storytelling one, we can do pose to pose. Okay, so, and this is a best effective method. We create only poses. Okay, then we fine tune the animation. Let's say the character is here. Let's say the story is the character is here and there is a stairs here. Okay, and after that there is a supermarket here. So what we'll do is, first pose, I'll make my character to sit. After some, even I'll not change the frames also. Means in the next frame or the, after 5 frame, every pose I give 5 frame interval. Okay, after the 5th frame, I'll take my character to the next pose. I make him to stand near the gate. After the frame, I make him to walk down the just one pose on the steps. And the next pose, like he's on the road. The next pose, he's, from his back of a shot, I'll show supermarket. Like that's a pose to pose. That's an effective method of animation. So the two contrasting approach to the creation of movement. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is slow in and out. The spacing of in between frames to subtle of timing and movement. This is slow in, slow out. Okay. He was so fast when he was performing the action, and all of a sudden, very slowly, he jumped on this and he hit this particular another character. So this is having more impact. Whenever there is an impact to be shown, like we create slow in, slow out. Okay. So that's again simple part. Okay. Wherein ease in, ease out. Let's say, for example, when we are creating a bouncing ball, normally, like the ball from here, it falls on the ground, it jumps, it bounces, and after some time, the speed of the ball has to slow down. Then it has to fall on the ground a bit faster. Then it has to hit the surface, then bounce back faster. After some time, the speed of the ball has to reduce. This is a process of, like slow in, slow out. So that anyhow you will be learning that defines the stability of the animation. Okay, so that's slow in, slow out here. There are multiple ways of explaining, like 12 principles of animation, and I have taken this is one simple example. Why? Because this is more appealing. So when I say appeal, automatically we get appeal here. Appeal, creating a design or an action that the audience enjoy watching. Okay. Let's say, for example, if you're watching any Hollywood movies or anything, the intro of a hero scene, or let's say a James Bond movie, an intro. Okay. So that, marks, saying, the presence of a character. Okay, so appeal is like that, creating a design or an action that audience enjoy watching. Okay, so that's appeal. So this is one example. Okay, so there are so many examples of, like, principles of animation. There are so many. Okay, so I want you to just go through all this principles of animation um, very clearly. See, this is one of the best example, like 12 principles of animation. um, you can just check this also.
Hey guys, so I decided to make a video series dedicated to the 12 principles of animation as described by the legendary animators Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. So the first principle is squash and stretch. This is the
See, in an order, like there we have seen in the order is different, but it is the same 12 principles of animation. So what I'll do, this particular thing, they have explained 12 principles in detail. Okay, 12 principles in detail. So what I'll do, I'll copy this. Okay, and I'll share it with you all. Let's say along with, our animator survival kit PDF also, that you can see later. But for today, tomorrow, what you can do, you can watch 12 principles of animation. You will learn things. Okay, every principle for 2 minutes, the person has given example. So it's better, like you learn more and more. And definitely this 12 principles of animation you are going to get for your exams. Okay, so now let me start working on an example here. Okay, so let us create a simple bouncing ball. Simple bouncing ball. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to create a sphere. Just one sphere is there. I'm going to place the sphere here, this height. So what I'll do, for time being, I'll go for 25 frame. That means frame number 1 is here, frame number 25 is here. Okay, frame number 1, frame number 25. So you can see an icon where the one person is running. This is an icon. This is called animation preferences. Okay, click on this icon, which is on the bottom right. Here in this preferences, what you have to do is playback speed from play every frame to 24 fps into 1, that is 24 frames per second by 1. You should choose this one. You should choose 24 fps by 1. Okay, save. This is the first thing you have to do in animation. Create a sphere, just place it over here. Okay, my first frame, I give set key. First frame, I give set key here. Set key is S. When you press S, that's a set key. Okay, whatever values are there, we are gonna key that. And my 25th frame, I'll come to my 25th frame. Okay, and again I'm selecting my character, my ball. Okay, the sphere one. So again set key. That means frame number 1 and frame number 25 is having the same set key, same key. Okay, so the middle of this is 125 is 13. I'll come to 13. I'm just moving this particular sphere a bit down and I press S, set key. So now what happens when I play this, the sphere is moving like this. Okay. See, the movement is not so great, right? It is not realistic. Just like one sphere is just moving up and down. Okay. There is no weight. There is no slow in, slow out. The principles we haven't added yet. It's just a simple basic animation. Let me add a principle. So how to add a principle? Okay. So select this. Okay. Principle. To add a principle, first thing, go in animation. You have to be in animation. Okay, that's the first thing. Go to window. Go to window. Here, animation editors. You have an option called animation editors. Click on graph editor. Click on graph editor. So I clicked on graph editor. Okay, clicked on graph. You can see the movements or the, see whatever values of an object. see the object values, whatever values are there here, or whatever options are there, or whatever channel boxes are there, the same you can see here. The sphere is having whatever options or channels here, the same channel listed here. The thing is, you get the value graph here. That's the best thing. That's the graph editor. Okay. This is the best way to animate or fine tune the object using graph editor. Okay. Just give me a minute. Mm, Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I select this translate Y. So translate Y is having this sort of curve. Okay. You can select this and press F. You can see the curve like this. And you see here, translate Y here, stats and value. The stat, um, this is 25th frame and I come here. So this is my first frame. Okay. When I select this, this shows when I select the key, these are the three key we have done, right? Here also you can select. So the first, it shows this is frame number 1, this is frame number 13, frame number 25. And this shows the value. What is the value here? Translate Y is have value 7.614. When you select this, it shows here. It is the same value. When you select, when you come to this particular part 13, it is translate Y value is 1. This is the only thing which is changing here. So what I'll do, I select 13 is where, like it is coming down, right? The curve is coming down. And here also it is taking some time to go up. So what I'll do, I'll select this. There are some tangents here. So by default, 3 plus 3 plus 3, there are 9 tangents in my graph editor, tangent. So I have to make the middle key, I have to make the middle key as a linear tangent. I'm clicking on linear. So you can see the curve got like this. So now let's see the animation. How does this looks? Can you see a clear bounce? Now the sphere is getting bounced, right? This looks good. A proper bounce is there, right? Why? Because when the sphere hits the surface, hits the object, I select translate Y, I select this, press F, F of focus. When the sphere hit the surface, it is bouncing back. Okay. Now I select these two. I'm going to add more weight. Weight in the sense, these two keys, this is a place where it is going to land or reach to the height. I select these two key. I'll come to curve. I'll give weighted tangent. I'm going to add few weight for this. After that, I'll come to, see, first is select this, go to curve, add weight. That means weighted tangent. Then I'm selecting this two. I'll come to tangent, free tangent weight, free tangent weight. So I can select this. I select this two again, and I'm selecting this. Okay, let me select this. I select the key. You need to select. Okay, normally this is in tangent, this is out tangent. Okay, now I select this out tangent. Okay, I have to be in W mode, means move tool mode. I'm moving like this. This one, I'm making it something like this. Now what happens? This sphere is gonna stay more time on air. See, it's gonna stay more time on air. Okay, got it? So this is an example of bouncing ball. In the next class, we will be seeing a bouncing ball with some more motion. Okay, so you can check that. So similarly, create some example. Okay, you have to come up with some example. Let's say you create a box or something, let's say here. Okay, and create one more box here. I duplicate this. I'm gonna extend this a bit, make it down here, something like this. You can take a spear. Let's say a spear should start animation from here. Let's say the ball has to hit, after that bounce, then it one pitch here, then again it should hit on this particular, something like, you come up with animation now. Okay, a simple animation, and in between, like, you can make this thing quite bigger. Some example. Okay guys, okay, you have to come up with this. It's like, let the spear hits, then you can make a jump on this, something. Okay, come up with some option. Okay, some any fancy or some any simple animation using these primitives. Okay, so that's the assignment for you guys. Once that is done, you can share the in WhatsApp. What you can do, you can record the animation and share the video with me, just on the screen only. You can open the means open WhatsApp. There you can record a video, just send that video to me. Okay, through phone. Any doubt? Bayabonga, MD Kumalo? Any doubt, team? MD Kumalo, Bayabonga?
Clear, sir.
Okay, do bouncing ball. That is one exam, one assignment. Any your interest, depends upon your interest. You can come up with some any mechanical animation. Okay, that is another example. You can share two assignments with me. And principles of animation, you have to refer the videos. Okay, in YouTube you can refer. I'll be sharing the link also in WhatsApp. Okay. Okay guys, then bye, have a good day. Bye, take care. Bye.